Alright, so I hope the audio is getting picked up. As you can see, this is rather lengthy, the video, and if we have audio hiccups and plosives, chances are you're not watching this at the moment because I wouldn't be satisfied with the upload, but I think we're just going to move the mic close in case that's the case. So this is my first time playing EA's WRC career mode. Here we're just going through our device settings. We're testing some things out. We're showing you that we're running no assist, Thrustmaster GT II. All the pedals are working just the way we want them to be. Now we got to crank, as you can see here, I'm messing with the e-brake. You got to really tug that shit quite hard here to get the full saturation on the e-brake. It's just the way I've tweaked the spring. When I first acquired it, it was actually a birthday present. You know who you are if you're watching this. Oh man, I got to actually talk about the peripherals here for a little bit. Now, yeah, like I said, I think we've got all the assists turned off, so there's no ABS, there's no traction control, and with our vibration settings, the reason I got the tire slip cranked all the way and some things dulled down is because the thing I've noticed with this game is even if you have everything completely maxed out on the Thrustmaster GT II as far as the vibrations are concerned, this game miles and decibels lags behind WRC generations when it comes to vibration. Now I don't know if it's a Thrustmaster issue in itself because there's two modes on the GT2. There's a GT mode which runs on, ideally it's supposed to be a mode that you run on Gran Turismo, I suppose hence the GT, but it runs on GT mode with WRC 10, I think with 9, even though I've only played that for a little bit, and definitely with Generations, the game I've put well over 170 hours of rallying. Now on this game, GT mode, the wheel doesn't even register that it's connected to the console, so we're playing on PS5 in case you're not too sure. And you have to run it in other mode. Now other mode is generally made for PC. I believe this doesn't work on the Xbox, it might, but if it was to work on the Xbox and definitely the PC, it'd be on other mode. Now I think you've got certain aspects, because there's a chip in the GT2 which enables certain tweaks to perform in-game via the GT mode. I think there's like some sort of variable drift control or whatnot, and I think some of those features just simply aren't active on other mode. Getting a little sidetracked. Okay, so I might have actually activated a career in the past because it's already had our name and our co-driver, Elena Kai. Shit. Yeah, this would have been ages ago, so I haven't played EA's WRC for months, and I did bypass just going into the game, setting up the menus, etc. That's why we just started getting the footage rolling, so you didn't have to watch about 2 minutes of me flicking through menus and assigning buttons, which is another thing I had to do. Now, I wasn't sure what kind of AI to run with here, and I was looking at things like event scale. Now, in Generations, I pretty much play full rallies all the time, so we are just going for long, assuming that's the full rallies, and benefactor relationship. I think we actually made him a hard ass here, and weekly team budget, well, if we got a hard ass team benefactor, we might as well make him give us a lot of dosh. And yeah, hardcore damage is on. I think I will turn up the AI because 50 just seemed a little bit too easy, but we weren't sure what kind of performance we're going to be at. Now, reiterating again, backing up to what I was saying with the wheel, the vibration is pretty lacking in this game again, comparing it to Generations. There's just not a lot of torque, not a lot of force feedback. In the past, I know I have had everything maxed out, but because there's more options in this game, like with tire slip, there's obviously the same things that you find in Generations, like self-aligning torque, but there is more options. You can set engine vibrations, as you may have seen, which is a thing that isn't available in Generations. So because I want to feel tire slip, my tires sliding out primarily, that's why I have certain things turned down, so the main things that I'm looking for essentially stick out. Yeah, I wasn't really listening to what the guide is essentially saying here. So I didn't know what the hell I was looking at right here. I think we're supposed to select staff here. I should have been paying attention. I wasn't actually paying any attention here. So I got a little bit lost and confused, especially with the buttons. So we're running the Sparco mod rally steering wheel by Thrustmaster here. And with the steering wheel, it actually doesn't say, it doesn't have the markings like the X, circle, triangle, square. So they're like color-coded, the buttons. And sometimes I forget which button is assigned to, say, X to select things, or circle to go back on particular things, especially since the inputs are different on this game as they are to Generations, and because it's been such a long time since I played this. So yeah, to reiterate, this is my first time playing this in about 9 months. So we just installed the 1.9 or 1.09 update as well. So I was hoping that was actually going to enable GT mode. It didn't. We're still running the wheel set on other, and the vibration is still, it's just still lacking. It's missing. So we chose the lowest horsepower car. We just went with the Golf, and we're going to spend a little bit of time here making it as degenerate as possible without spending too much time on it. So as you'll see, we're just going to make an abomination out of this. But this game, I don't hate it entirely, but the tarmac handles way better on Generations, way better on all the KT racing games that I've played in the past, pretty much the entire WRC series. Like I said, I've only played a little bit of 9, but on 10 and Generations, I think tarmac handles ideally. Here the cars still feel a little floaty, I think, but maybe there's some changes, okay, with update, like in the last 9 months, essentially. I keep using the fucking word, by the way, essentially. Like, I need to change my grammar. Even though this is like a one take, on the fly, just off the cuff, we're pretty much ranting for an entire half an hour, so sometimes I do get surprised I don't stumble over my words, and this paint job is just about complete. I actually started losing interest, though. I wanted to get a bit of a neurotic pattern going here, and I think we made some things pop with the chrome, some things metallic, and we just made the mirrors matte. Now this is where, yeah, now I remember, this is where I run into a thing that I really disliked about the career mode and the fluency of it. Now, once you see, we're going to open up the calendar, which is going to, pardon me, Coke Oreo is freaking, Coke No Sugar Oreo is great. It's like my new favorite drink, and I despise Coke. I stopped liking standardized Coke years and years ago. Vanilla Coke was bearable, and now Coke Oreo's got me back on the Coke train. Shouldn't drink that poison, a lot of people will say, but all in moderation. Don't drink alcohol, that's what you shouldn't drink. Okay, since we're going to be running hood view, we might as well have a map on our hood here, just to give us an unfair advantage in the stages. So yeah, we're going to save this livery. It's Dosh. I hope everyone downloads it. I was hoping to get a custom Marlboro or Pall Mall cigarette branding. Couldn't find it, so we made the next best thing. So there we are, ready for the car show. Getting back on topic of this game, again, the hub was just so much better, so much more fluent in Generations. You had essentially a calendar, and again, I said essentially, fuck, I gotta get that word out of my vocab. You have a calendar which is 4 weeks laid out. Here, it's like in Pornhub tabs. It shits me already. It's not fluent. It's not exactly laid out in an organized manner where I can see we got the month of, say, March. I can see weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4, and everything I can do potentially in those weeks. Here, I got to look through a whole bunch of tabs. Okay, maybe it's targeted towards the Gen Z Pornhub subscribers here who are used to having multiple tabs open in the window along the way. For me, it's again a bit frustrating. And you got these team objectives. Okay, fair enough. We kind of had a look at those. So now we go back into this calendar. Like, what's a motor show? Like I said, I just started career. It doesn't even elaborate on what a motor show is in Generations. I'm gonna stop saying in Generations, but in the WRC KT game, everything was laid out a lot more fluently. When you saw a practice, when you saw team bonding, it had a little window telling you that, okay, the team bonding, for example, boosts team morale. Doing this historic challenge boosts your team's budget, your income. Here, like the first thing that we see is you can do a fucking motor show, a car show. What does that even entail? What does that exactly do? What does that mean for us? And you've got events displayed that you can't even partake in because you don't own the car. Why is it displayed? Again, I reiterate, KT Racing WRC games, what's on the screen, you can do. There's no clicking on it and being told that you don't meet a requirement or you don't meet a car. And this right here, again, it didn't quite make sense. Assign engineers. What are we doing here? I didn't want the other fuckers. I actually wanted to fire them, to be frank. That's why I just went with 2 engineers. And then this right here was the kicker for me. I know I sound like I'm complaining about this game. The graphics in this game are way better. I think the car modification is a lot better. When you go to vehicle setup, there's a lot more that you can work with here as far as like differential, springs, ride height, camber, in, out, brake bias. The tuning of the vehicle setup is a lot more fluent, I think. Fluid, yeah. And you can even completely ditch your spare tires to carry less weight, as we're doing here. So the graphics, the vehicle setup, the tuning, it's a lot more in depth right here. Yeah, like the toe angle. There's so much more that you can work with here. And yeah, I like to camber my wheels out a little bit, lower the ride height. It's just the thing I started experimenting with back on Generations, and we're doing a little bit of that here. I actually do find it helps, and on shitty cars like this, you don't need... And I say shitty because I'm pretty sure this is only a 4-gear car, and as you'll see, this just gets really, really boring. You don't need a ton of handbrake force either. I actually found that you don't really need to handbrake because just the acceleration in this car is shocking, that you go slow enough when you downshift to first to not really need to apply a hard cranking handbrake. So yeah, we turn up our anti-roll, we adjust our anti-roll bars. I don't think we touch, yeah, so we leave the diff as is, even though we probably could have toned down the diff just to get a bit more acceleration because the car only does have 4 gears. Now this is what, it killed me. 1 out of 9. When you did historic races in KT's WRC, it was 1 historic race. It was 1 stage. Here, I just entered into something. I signed up for something I didn't even know I was signing up for. There's 9 stages. If you're averaging a stage at about 6 minutes, 7 minutes, you do the math yourself. Let's just say with all the menus, you're going through everything. So about 7 minutes a stage. Dude, you're doing about 63 minutes. Over an hour. Now, I'm stuck in this for over an hour, and along the way, there might even be a 20 clicker, which will push this over the 90-minute mark of now being stuck in this piece of shit 4-gear car from the World War II days. This actually started making me feel pretty frustrated with the career mode. Now, I didn't want to quit. I persisted with this. Our difficulty, if you recall, is cranked up to 65, which isn't overly high. Okay, like the baseline difficulty is 50. Now, I started to lose interest pretty quick after this stage. We don't do our best drive. It's pretty good considering we've got quite a lot turned off. Well, we've got everything turned off. There's no traction control. We've got no braking assist. What else is there? We're shifting with a H pattern, and it's not clutchless either.
40. Slowing, slight right, and turn square left. 40, slight left, 70.
I do like the gravel mechanics. Now, this probably isn't the best car to emphasize.
5 left short, into 6 right, into bump, and 4 left short, into 6 right, 40. 1 right.
Yes, I'm just pausing to look over the footage. You're not really going fast enough to get a good taste for the gravel mechanics. I do wish I was driving my degenerate WRC2 car in this, but like I said, I didn't know what I signed up for, so we cooked that completely. That was all on me, just starting to already lose interest. Still not getting over the fact that I'm going to have to run 9 stages in Hitler's Mobile. We're already starting to smash the competition. The split time is well over 6 seconds, and again, this is far from an ideal drive from someone with no assists enabled, haven't played this game in months on end. It almost seems like I should have cranked the difficulty up to at least 75, and even then I wouldn't have had to have a fantastic drive. As you'll see, I think towards the end of this stage we're already over a minute up, and then the following stage after this we're almost in the 2 minutes ahead after 2 stages. So the way this is looking, after all 9 stages, I don't even have to have a fantastic drive. I'll probably end up beating second place by well over 10 minutes. We're not going to upload it because this is a fucking flat out shit car to drive. I'm running out of things to even say about this game. Again, here I'm starting to get confused with the buttons. I actually wanted to change the camera. I wanted to go in the cockpit, but I couldn't recall which button I actually had assigned to change the camera now. So that's where we had a little bit of stuttering. So the pros of this game, again, graphics are great. Graveling. Gravel control, driving on gravel.
6 left, keep in.
I think it's a preference thing. I'm leaning more towards this game perhaps over Generations, but my problem is the vibration is just not quite right in this game as opposed to Generations. It's not strong enough. It's too weak. I feel the car a lot better, and there's a lot more precision. I can keep the wheel in tighter with less aggressive movements. In this game, I find that there's just a ton of oversteer no matter what car you got. A simple example is in Generations, when I go over when I enter a hairpin turn, when I have to use the e-brake to essentially do a 108 essentially. Fuck, that fucking word there. When I have to do a 180 degree turn on Generations, I rarely have to turn my wheel a full 180 degrees. So we got the wheel, and I never really have to turn it beyond about 100 degrees. So say 90 is turning it all the way to the right. If we're doing a right hairpin turn, I never have to go just a little further than 90 degrees. Very, very rarely. I've usually overcooked it, and we've slipped the rear end out on the hairpin turn if I've had to turn the wheel all the way around to 180. Now in this game, more often than not, even on a 90 degree turn, just a flat right, I'm getting myself mixed up because I'm mirroring the image with the webcam. Okay, like with this turn right here, it's a pity I actually wasn't filming myself with the wheel. Just to turn right there the way I turned, I swear I had to do the wheel almost a full 180, if not the entire 180, just to get that turn. So there's a lot more play, a lot more motion on a flat right 90 degree bank turn right here. Again, it's not as simple as turning the wheel just smoothly, like crank the e-brake, you lock up the wheels, you lock up the rear end, and then you can turn the wheel in Generations roughly 85, 90 degrees at the most. Boom, you'll slip that rear end out just right. In this game, to make that sort of turn, you're going beyond 90. 90 is not going to get you a 90-degree turn. There's a lot more wheel play, and because there's less feedback, this sort of shit happens where I do start slipping that rear end out and just losing control. It's a familiarity thing, and I also think it's just what you're used to. I have obviously never driven a fucking rally car on a rally track, so I've got nothing to compare to as far as like real life simulation goes, but it handles. There's a reason I uploaded one of my first EA's WRC videos was EA's WRC handles different. It handles different. Now I don't know again if it's handles the right way, the precise simulator way. I've seen professional rally drivers play this game and they seem to be driving like they got fucking vibration settings completely turned off. I've seen some people flying through some of these stages back in the past when I was watching some of the gameplay videos of this game. Now we almost stalled here. Luckily we stepped on the clutch to save ourselves from stalling. It's not like we got anti-stall enabled, so yeah, if your revs drop too low, you know, you stall a manual car. For those of you who fucking only ever driven auto in your life. Look how long this takes. This stage just took forever, and yeah, 8 more of these after this. That's why I'm not too happy with the career mode in EA's WRC. You shouldn't have this shit. Like, the reason I chose long, if you recall, when we chose like rally lengths, is because I wanted to play a proper season. How is this part of any fucking proper season to rent Hitlermobiles and do 9-stage rallies? To what end? To what benefit? I don't think it even describes what the exact purpose of this is. And like I said, the very first thing that we see was a car show. What the fuck is a car show? Are we going to show off our degenerate purple-rimmed Golf GTI? Was it even a GTI? It's confusing, it's overcooked, and the career mode was just a lot more simplistic in Generations. You just raced a normal rally calendar without all this filler content, and this is why I don't even think I'm going to go back to career mode. This is a nice touch, like Stop by the Marshals, but the fact that on 65 difficulty with a less than ideal drive we flogged the AI by 48 plus seconds. Way too easy, and we drove that nowhere near our best, nowhere near with optimum concentration. I think at one stage I was fiddling with my phone and notifications were going off that someone's fucking hacking my PayPal account. Yeah, way too easy. It must be because we ditched that extra 20 kilos of spare tire. So yeah, it's all preferential. It might be GT mode. It might actually have nothing to do with GT mode, but I have had people agree with me in the past that they don't like the way the career mode's laid out in this game, and they don't like the way the handling is. Now on asphalt, I don't think we actually play any asphalt, because this is going to be another dirt track. Yeah, throughout this entire video we actually don't test out asphalt. This was more about going into career mode and seeing it for ourselves.
Starts 4 right over crest, 60, good luck.
So yeah, this is when I really came to the realization we're going to have to do all 9 stages with this fucking car. And I didn't know what the repercussions are going to be if you outright quit. But this is not what I had in mind.
3, 2, 1, go. 4 right over crest, 60.
I am now curious to keep playing this and seeing what the outcome is of winning. Doing all 9 stages, like I said, pretty much playing this for over 90 minutes in this car. And this is all because I wanted to play a full WRC2 career, a full WRC2 rally calendar. I didn't realize that it was going to make historic events fucking 9-stage events, because in the past historic events were just 1 stage. Okay, a maximum of 5-6 minutes.
Two right.
That's
cut,
it, it's finished.
60.
You don't have to fucking run through an entire 9-stage rally.
3 left sharp, over crest, 60.
I think a couple of times I tried to slip this into 5th gear just to see if it exists. That's where we just ended up in neutral. And I tell you, if I wasn't using the H pattern shifter, if I was using paddles for this, let alone an automatic gearbox, this might as well be an ASMR video if there was no commentary. It'd be so boring you could fall asleep. Fall asleep driving this.
Sudden 4 left and 3 right, through dip, opens, and right over crest, 40.
I know you're probably getting pretty bored at this stage. If you actually watched this far, kudos to you.
Tightens 4.
I'm taking a break from talking just to evaluate my own driving here. I think the game does look pretty good. I've said that once and I've said it twice and I'll say it again. The game looks pretty good. Our split time again, we're just thumping the opposition. No problems with the pace notes, the call outs. I don't have a problem with the female voice or anything like that.
60.
Yeah, the aesthetic of the game, the engine sounds again, kudos. But the main fucking thing is the steering, the handling, the way the wheel vibrates, the feedback it gives you. Now, touching on that, the Thrustmaster GT II, to date, I think it's about a 3-year-old wheelbase now at this stage. I think it's at least 3 years old. Now, to date, I don't think you can actually get a better wheel on console. Maybe there's some direct drive wheels. I think maybe there's one by Logitech, and it might still have about 2 to 3 more Newton meters of torque compared to the Thrustmaster GT II. Well, let me tell you, even if you've got a fucking $4,000 wheel that's somehow PS5 compatible, console compatible, you got one of those Fanatec, Max Verstappen, like some $4,000 wheels, you're not going to get the most out of it even if it was compatible, because the vibrations are non-existent in this game. Put it this way, when I play Generations, my forearms physically get tired. The amount of force you have to apply to hold that wheel, the amount it shakes, the sensitivity, how much small precise movements impact the car, especially 100 k's plus. Here, the movements are way bigger, okay, and I've got it turned all the way down to -10 to get the most precise movements. I think I might have shown that at the start of the video. Now, like I said, it's a pity I'm not filming myself playing, but the movements are not anywhere near as sharp. You have to put a lot more motion into the steering in this game. The feedback is very, very poor in comparison. And quite frankly, I just really struggle to feel these cars. It's more instinct than anything. And again, that ultimately comes down to familiarity. I've put 20, maybe 22 hours into this game. Generations well over 170. So again, it's going to be what you're used to.
40, 1 left sharp. Into 5 right, half long tightens, 60.
Smoking, absolutely smoking the competition. Another 46 plus second lead on the split. 65 is way too easy. I still think we'd be thumping the AI even if they were set to 75. So the way we're looking, we got to turn the AI up to about 75 as a minimum, maybe even 80 for this to be competitive.
Turn hairpin left, unseen. Into 6 right, 50, slowing.
Yeah, there's certain aspects I do like. I do like that you can stall the car. I think it's a neat touch to go up to the marshals. I think it's a neat touch to hold the handbrake and clutch at the start. So I was just zonked at this stage. I got so over it. I got over this track, I got over this car, and I got over the career mode pretty much within half an hour of having commenced it. Think about how stupid that is. You went through all the... Say you just bought the game, you want to play career mode. By the time you've set everything up, adjusted your settings, not that you're going to even know what you prefer ideally, because if you're going based off the last game, which was Generations, you don't even know what you want your settings on. Shit. For me, I think it took well over an hour to even work out how I get the wheel going, because, like I said, it didn't work in GT mode. By the time you built your car, if you took it seriously, team names, team logos, if all that shebang meant a whole deal to you, it might take you like 40 minutes to even get into an event. And by the time you've gotten into an event, you're fucking driving Hitler's car, and you gotta go through 9 entire stages using it before you get to use your car. I can't even jump into a WRC2 event now with my own car. The car build is a crock of shit anyway. There's no real reason you'd want your engine in the rear. Maybe in the center, but there's a reason rear wheel engine cars haven't pretty much won any rally championships since the Group B days of the 80s. Yeah, it's in-fucking practical. And I think the last modern car, rally car, that ran an engine in the rear end was the Porsche. Not that they ever won any titles either. So rear end engines in a four-wheel drive car anyway, it doesn't make fucking sense. The build is a crock of shit. Yeah, here I think I was reading emails. I was pretty bored, but I thought if I cut the video off here, we're not even going to have experience driving a more modern car. After such a lengthy hiatus from this game, I didn't want it to conclude that. And you can see our experience finally shot up from 0 to what, 2? So finally we've done something. It just goes to show that somehow even all my progress got deleted, because I have done time trials in the past. I don't know why the progress got reset. Is it like a seasonal thing? Maybe it is. Maybe it's a seasonal thing. These fucking seasons, man. Whatever the hell that is. Good to see that there's like a DLC coming for this game, but I don't think this game is ever going to win me over with its handling mechanics. It's just not something I'm used to, and that being my introduction to the career mode, not the way I like it. So here I think we got a modern car. This might be a junior car though, but yeah, it is. It's a Rally 3 car. We decided to test this out, so yeah, we just wanted to give something one more run. Felt like I could get this over and done with pretty sharpish. Not too familiar with Oceania. I don't think that's a circuit or a stage in any of the old WRC games I played. Just have a little tinker with the setup. I can't ditch our spare tyre, but I do like cambering my wheels. We're gonna... yeah, we'll tweak our angles. To each their own. Let me know what you think, but if you haven't played Generations, definitely a strong recommend. People say Codemasters are the legends, the best of the best when it comes to rally games. I didn't mind some of the old Formula 1 games, but for me it's KT Racing all the way. At least on console, at least with the Thrustmaster setup. I don't know whose ghost that is. It's definitely not mine. I don't even know how he's going faster than us on this straight. We had a pretty good launch and we're shifting gears ideally. Maybe it's a different car, maybe it's not the same car. Yeah, this actually shits me in all rally games, not just this one. This isn't an EA problem. The ghost in front of me with the what's the word, opacity, you know, when they're like hollow, you can semi see through them. It gets really distracting, especially when the ghost is within view. When it's like right in front of me like this, it gets so off-putting because it's like a focal point. My eyes are just drawn to the ghost and not so much on the road or the road ahead.
4 left, keep in, 120.
It's actually quite off-putting, yeah. So we're still on the H pattern. I can't play without the H pattern. It adds so much more fun to the game for me. I don't care if I don't beat times or set my best times possible. I used to play with the paddles when I did take the game a little bit more seriously before my hiatus. I was trying to go for those better times, which involved me using the paddles, but now I'm just back on the H pattern. It's so much more fun, so much more dynamics, clutching in, shifting the gears. It just adds that element of the game, that realism of driving. I don't envy you people that drive automatics. I mean, if I got an automatic car for free, sure, I'd drive it, I'd cherish it, I'd appreciate having a vehicle, period. But I would not go out of my way to buy an auto. Manual all the way. Yeah, I don't think we end up beating this ghost. It was a decent drive. I'm not gonna write this game off, but this video was me telling you that I'm writing career mode off. There's no way I'm doing another 7 stages in that hunk of 4-gear shit back from the 40s. Ah, he had all his assists on, and I don't know who that even is. It's also a Rally 3 car, but he's got all his assists on. Pretty much got an automatic gearbox with traction control and ABS. Doesn't count. Especially since I bet he's been playing this game longer than me, whoever the hell set that ghost. Fucking Spaniard. I don't even know why his ghost is there. What, is that supposed to be like the best time for this time trial? So that's gonna do it there. If you've watched this far, wow. I'm surprised. Only like 10 people watch my videos. This might have not been the most entertaining video, but if you took anything away from it, is that WRC Generations has better tarmac control, better force feedback, and that might not be the case on PC, but I definitely know I'm talking the facts when it comes to consoles. So if you got a Thrustmaster wheel and you're wondering about this game, Generations all the way. Here, yeah, you see the hours I put into this game, and then you compare it to Generations. So there's no comparison. I think it does come down to an element of what you're used to, but with the career mode being the way it is in EA's WRC, Generations all the way. And this one here, it might have to go. See you in the next one.